Population. The number of people living in a country is known as its population. India has a huge population. The population of India in 2011 was 121 crores. Now, the number must have increased even more. India is the second most populated country in the world. Do you know which country has more people than India? It is China. But China is much bigger than India. India is not the largest country in the world. Then why do we have such a high population? Up to independence, there were not many hospitals and medicines available in India. As you are studying in history, we were ruled by foreign powers and they were not really interested in the welfare of the people. Even for a long time, before the British came to rule over India, there were other powers invading India. Lots of wars and a lot of unrest. So science and technology had not really developed in the middle period. The health facilities for the people were not so good and lots of epidemics and diseases would spread which killed a lot of people. There would also be floods and famines which would destroy crops and many people would die of starvation. As there were not many good hospitals and medicines, many children would die in their young age or at birth. So families would have lots of children so that at least a few would survive. But once we got independence, all that changed. Now we have good medicines and good hospitals. Most of our diseases are treated and epidemics can be controlled. If there is a flood or famine in one place, people from other parts of the country and the world help and not so many people die. Even due to good medicines, most of the children who are born do not die. So the number of deaths has gone down. But families still continue to have many children. That practice did not stop. So more people are being born and less people are dying. The people are also living longer. This has suddenly increased India's population after independence. So you know that India has a very huge population and you also know why our population has suddenly increased. And do you know how this population is distributed? Let us first understand what population distribution means. If you take some grains of rice and spread them evenly in this dish, then any area you look at will have roughly the same amount of rice. This means that the rice is evenly distributed all over the plate. But what if we put more rice in some places and less rice in some places? Then, if you look at different areas, you will find that some places have more rice than others. This means that the rice is not evenly distributed all over the plate. Some places are packed with more rice and there is very little rice in some places. Some places have a medium quantity of rice. This is called uneven distribution. The people in India are also spread in the same way. Some places have lots of people. Some places have medium amounts of people. And some places in India have very few people. Usually, we find out how many people live in 1 square kilometer of land. That means you draw a square with a side of 1 square kilometer and then count the people living in it. Places where the number of people living in a square kilometer is high are said to be densely populated. Dense means thick. So these are thickly populated areas. Places where a lot of people stay very close to each other. Places where the number of people living in a square kilometer is low are said to be thinly populated. So these are thinly populated areas. Places where a few people stay and they live at a distance from each other. Places that are neither thickly nor thinly populated are said to be moderately populated. The number of people living in a square kilometer is neither too high nor too low in these areas.